Welcome to I Said What I Said. I'm Brad Wakai. That's Tyson Gentri. We are recording the NFL Conference Championship picks episode. I just said before we got on, this is our second to last gambling episode in football of the season. I mean, it's crazy to think about. Tyson, I remember we did our first one. I remember we did the midpoint one, and now we're freaking one episode away from the Super Bowl. It is nuts.
Brother, I remember when we did our first one in 2013. We weren't gambling back then, but we were doing the shows all the same. And yeah, NFC, AFC, let's get to it. And this one is a little bit unique. If you've been following us all season long, I'm a one-play-a-game kind of guy for the most part. Brad is, dip his toes into as many different bodies of water that he can find, whether it's one game or, every game of the weekend. So we're limited in what we can do here today. But I got three in each, and Brad's doing Brad's thing.
We're gonna let it rip. And so normally what we do is we recap the plays, but since this is the playoffs, we're gonna do it at the end. We're gonna do a nice little fun kind of wrap on everything that happened on the gambling side of things this year. So we're not hiding away. You guys know how we do. If you've been with us, if this is your first time, we're not professional bettors. We don't pretend to be. We're having some fun. We're gonna put a little cheddar on the weekend, and that's what we're gonna do. So with Tyson, without further ado, let's hit this theme song, baby. Let's get this thing going and start getting some gamble picks.
It's money-making time.
And so Tyson was red hot this NFL season, and I'm not going to mess him up this year. What we do is if you have the good week, or this week I should say, if you have the week, you get the box. We're both golf guys. So Tyson, let's start leading it off.
That was Brad's way of subtly insulting me because he lives in sunny Arizona and just got off the golf course. It's 4 degrees outside where I live right now. But we're starting here in the Eagles-Commanders NFC title game, Brad. My first play of the weekend is going to be Devontae Smith over 48.5 yards. And now I understand A.J. Brown's number is criminally low at 60. But I also understand that Devontae Smith is the all-time leading receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles in postseason history. Like, let that sink in. He's been on the team 4 seasons. And this dude just consistently finds a way. If you listen to the preview show, I expect Dan Quinn to run a lot more zone than he's shown the Eagles in the first 2 matchups here. And I think that's where Devontae Smith thrives. Give me 5 catches, 50 yards, easy peasy. We're on our way home.
I love it. I'm going to go on the other side. Tyson mentioned the number. I'm going to take A.J. Brown over 60.5 receiving yards, minus 114 on FanDuel as recording. Like it up. I think he's going to have a big game. We're talking about A.J. Brown boom spots. This, to me, is the moment. Everybody's talking about what's wrong with this passing offense. What's wrong with A.J. Brown? Is he hurt? Why Jalen Hurts stinks throwing the ball? Tyson, we know this. We're Eagles fans. We've been following this team. Normally when the chips are down and everybody's doubting A.J. and Jalen, all of a sudden it looks like they're the best duo in the league. Like it gets to that point where it's force-fed and we got bombs over the top. I think the secondary is a little bit overrated for the Commanders. Yes, Sanders still had the 2 picks. Oh, yeah, they got Marshawn Lattimore. Oh, A.J. Brown's going to eat. Let's go over 60.5.
And I'm going one that's going to be close to our hearts here, Brad. Zach Ertz over 33.5 receiving yards feels like maybe if we were doing play of the week in the NFL playoffs, that might have been where I ended up. I think that Zach Ertz is going to be able to, take advantage of Oren Burks here in the secondary. And obviously, it doesn't matter to me so much if it's Zach Bond or Cooper Jean finds himself matched up, or maybe Sidney Brown gets on the field. The Eagles running dime, something crazy. But I expect Zach Ertz. He's a primetime performer. Like the guy can be 50 years old, but in these moments, we know, especially as Eagles fans, he's awesome in the playoffs, and he wants this one bad, brother. 33.5. I think that this is a smash spot here for Ertz.
I'm with you, bro. Minus 110. DraftKings is where Tyson and I are playing this over 33.5, like he said. With Oren Burks, the Rams were eating up the middle of the field with the tight end spot. He's an athletic guy, doesn't quite have the same feel of things. Zach Bond has to do a little bit more of what the Kobe Dean had to do. So they were asking Oren Burks to do a couple more coverage things, all that stuff. That equates to Zach Ertz getting some passes. He's a safety blanket, right? If you ever heard the Commanders, if you heard Chris Collins were talking about it, he's like, oh, he's got to go for a safety blanket, Zach Ertz. That's really what he is, though. I mean, he sits in the middle of the field, finds spots in the zone, can beat some man coverage press, all that good stuff. So Tyson and I both on over 33.5 for Zach Ertz.
And let me get the Eagles' third pass catcher here. This Dallas Goedert touchdown number is crazy. It's sitting here at plus 350 on FanDuel. I think that we're going to get to remember the Titans moment here, Brad. We're getting the finger point. I'm staring at Zach Ertz. I know you got 50 yards and you cash Tyson as Brad's bet, but guess what? I scored the touchdown. We win the game. I think that Dallas Goedert at plus 350. It's enough of a shot where I'm comfortable if I don't get this home that I'm willing to take the risk.
I love it. And so I'm going to close out the two Eagles plays I have here before we move on. I'm going to take A.J. Brown 5+ receptions plus 100 on FanDuel. I think this is a force feed spot. It's been quiet. It's been not necessarily strange, but when you're reading a book on the sideline, it gets caught, and that's the whole fever pitch in the city, then it's like, oh my gosh, we got to figure some stuff out. Now, to their credit, they didn't do that last week when the conditions didn't call for it. They ran the football. Okay, everybody knows their role. Let's block and figure things out. I think it's different this week. This, to me, is an A.J. Brown boom spot. Like I said, I think he's going to catch a lot of balls. I think he's going to have a big game. Let's take the plus money here on the A.J. Brown 5+ receptions. Now, Tyson, to close it out here, everybody's talking about Saquon Barkley. That rushing number is insane. So what I'm going to do when I attack things here, I'm going to go the longest rush over 23.5 yards, minus 115 on FanDuel. We've seen him take chunk plays before, not just against every team, but against the Commanders. I think it's set up perfectly for that here. Yes, they're going to be able to hyper-focus on Saquon. We're not quite sure how Jalen Hurts' health is going to come into this thing. But in the past, when Jalen Hurts was showing the ability to pull the ball and this offensive line was going downhill and creating running lanes, Saquon Barkley has gashed this defense. I think he's in line to do it again. I'm going to go over 23.5 rush yards for the longest rush for Saquon Barkley.
Doesn't it feel like there's a ton of liability for the Bucs in that number? Like I feel like a CYA spot, a cover your butt spot here for the Bucs would have just been 39.5, and I think you would have got equal action on both sides. I'm being for real. Like this dude is unreal, and the public loves him. So 23.5 for a guy that has gone over that number every game for the last couple months is pretty impressive. We're switching games here, and if you listen to the preview show, you know where I'm going, and I'm getting away from props for one game or one play here. I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs at home to win the game here on the money line. It's sitting at minus 125. You're just not going to get this value on it. Like, first of all, you don't see repeat champions in the NFL. And then when they're at home, I know Josh Allen's playing his best football of the season. The Bills are awesome, all this stuff. You got to beat them. You just got to beat them. Like, I don't believe you can beat them until you beat them when it counts, and I think Kansas City gets it done.
This is a show me show. Tyson's putting his money where his mouth is. He thinks the Chiefs are going to win. He said that in our preview show. Go check that out. He also really wants to play the Chiefs since we're both Eagles fans. He wants the rematch. He wants the revenge spot. So keep that in mind as well. Tyson, I could not believe it when I saw this number. I'm taking Amari Cooper 25+ receiving yards plus 155 on DraftKings. Tyson, this is why the Bills went and traded for him. I know it was quiet last game, and Amari Cooper's a little banged up. He had 55 the first time these teams played on 2 receptions. He had that one bomb. Why not get Amari Cooper involved here? I know Khalil Shakir has been eating a little bit. We think Dalton Kincaid could be a featured part of this offense. We know Josh Allen likes to spread it out. All of a sudden, Matt Collins is involved. Not Deebo Samuel, but Curtis Samuel is getting involved in these passing offenses. But I think this is why you went and got Amari Cooper. 25+ seems extremely small to me, especially when Khalil Shakir is probably going to be blanketed by Trent McDuffie. So I think on the other side, this could be an Amari Cooper spot. I'm going to take the chance here at plus 155 that he has 25+ yards.
Right, and it could be one catch, it could be 2 catches. Like this, it doesn't need to be a high volume day here to hit 25 yards. And nobody's talking about it because it's not quite the same level as Philadelphia. But they were asking Amari Cooper, "Are you okay with your stats through this?" And he said the same thing A.J. Brown said. All it counts is winning this time of the year. But these wide receivers want the football, and I think that's going to be spoken to Joe Brady in that offense. I'm going with James Cook to score a touchdown here. This is the one from this game that I like the number on the best. I understand Josh Allen is an absolute monster on these tush pushes, and he might, scoop me a little bit, but you're not getting a lot of plus money on the guys that do score all the touchdowns. So James Cook feels like the guy that is most likely to get in the end zone, that I'm going to get at a good number here, plus 145. And I also think he wants a little bit of revenge for the way the first game went for him. I know the Bills won the game, but he was bottled up in a way that he hasn't quite been other games this season. I think James Cook finds the end zone.
Well, Tyson, you mentioned what could potentially snake bite you, so I'm going to take Josh Allen touchdown, minus 110. He's been a machine running the football and getting into the end zone late in the year. I do not think that changes here, whether it's a tush push, whether it's what we saw against the Chiefs the first time on his long scramble. I think Josh Allen wants to get into the end zone. I think he's going to put his body on the line in this one, unlike he did against the Ravens, where it was like, it's kind of a low rushing number for Josh Allen, even though he went into the end zone twice. But I think he's going to be more adept to using his legs, more willing to use his legs in this one. Really, everything that it takes to win. You got 2 weeks off if you go to the Super Bowl. Give me Josh Allen touchdown minus 110 on FanDuel.
If you're sitting here listening to this and you're like, Tyson's an idiot, like none of these plays are going to hit, this one's for you. I'm going with old reliable. I'm going with Travis Kelce here. 7+ catches, -118. Patrick Mahomes threw for 170 yards last week, and Travis Kelce had 100 of them. I think this is one where he sits down in the zones, he finds his spots. I'm not confident in the yards number so much, but I think this is a force feed our guy on 3rd and 4th down that we know the Chiefs are going to be aggressive in those spots, and this is a time and a team, that he's shown that I can get this thing done. And he might find the end zone, he might smash the yards, he might not hit the catches, but I'm most comfortable with the 7+ catch number.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I was eyeing that. I'm glad Tyson took it because I didn't have the stones. But, of course, and I say that, and I go the flip side, and I'm taking Noah Gray over 14.5 receiving yards, -114 on DraftKings. This is really just a gut play. Like, I have no feeling about this. I just feel like Noah Gray, when everybody thinks Travis Kelce's going to eat, and he could. Like, that's not out of the realm of possibility. All of a sudden, this guy catches one big pass across the middle of the field that you're like, oh, my God, what the hell? How's he so open? And you think it's Kelce because all the tight ends have the same number. And so I'm going to go over 14.5 here, -114 on DraftKings. I just have a feeling here, whether it's smart or not, we'll see.
And there's a lot of specials in these games tabs too for you guys out there. If that's kind of your move, there's a lot of good value to be had. It's not necessarily something that Brad and I dive into too much, especially not on the show. They're just a high level of risk, so it's up to you for your tolerance. But if you're looking at these and you're like, I don't want to play -110, give me something at +10,000. That's the spot you're going to find it, because at the end of the day, man, we're at the end of the road, and so you can't make your own parlays hardly anymore to get to that number. So just take one the books give you and cross your fingers.
Yeah, and you can try, and then Tyson will tell you where you can find it first. But I know everybody listening, and if you've been with us, you're like, wait, what the hell? There's 2 games. Where is the teaser? Oh, I gotcha. Don't worry. Eagles pick 'em, Bills +7.5, -120 on DraftKings. You guys, listen, if there's a thing to be teased, it's going to happen here. This is the last time I can do it until next fall. Come on, baby. We're not messing around. So let's get the Eagles down to just winning the game, and let's get the Bills over for a touchdown. I love it here. I think it's going to be a close one on the Bills side of things. I think the Eagles win, -120. Let's go. Let's take this money.
So I'm pissed at you for this. Brad's teasers so far this season, the bigger favorite that he's teased down to a pick'em has been the one that's just lost the game outright. And Brad just kicked the Philadelphia Eagles right in the junk. Jalen Hurts, I'm sorry for what this man just did to you. I cannot believe that it's already on wax. Like it's coming out. The money's in the account. Like the bet is placed. It's in the slip. So there's nothing we can do here. So if you wanted that Commander's money line, now might be the best time possible to take it. I can't believe you've done this.
I can't believe it either. And now I wish I would have consulted you. So here's the problem, folks. It's like, Bill O'Reilly, fuck it, let's do it live. That's what we kind of do here on our gambling show. And I think I just screwed the Eagles. We got the flag here. Tyson's upset. If anybody can do it, Tyson, it could be Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's a winner in the playoffs. So let's see. But I think, they say it's too good to be true for a reason. That might be the situation here. But boy, oh boy, you're right. It's in the account already. There's nothing I can do. Maybe I cash out. I don't know, but I like it.
You should have reverse teased it. You should have taken Eagles up to 14.5 points on this thing, and then we would have been home free, no problem. And I'm so confident, by the way, out there, people. There's only one game on Super Bowl Sunday. Everybody knows that. Brad's going to find a way, but he's going to tease something in there too. I don't know how he's going to do it, but he is. And if you're sitting at home and you're like, well, normally there's more plays on the show, and that's right, there is. But this weekend we only have the 2 games, and we're going to be playing live stuff, and there'll be other prop numbers as injury news and all that other stuff comes out. We're getting limited practices from some guys, and we don't know how it's going to go. Those will be in the Discord app. A group name is I Said What I Said. Tons of different channels in there for you. We're about to transition ourselves in the show to the NBA, but that doesn't mean we haven't been watching college basketball. The same thing. We got tons of different sports rocking and rolling. Brad, golf is back. Like, there's anything that you can think of, we're playing. We want to know what you're playing. We want to know who you think is winning these championship games this weekend. And most importantly, we are 2 weeks away from the most fun betting event in football. I won't say the most fun betting event in total because March Madness is only a couple months away. So that's another incentive to get in there.
Absolutely. And Tyson mentions golf. We had a great run at the majors last year. And so this year we're going to take it to the show. We're going to do some previews for you because I know a lot of people are getting more into golf betting stuff. So we're going to preview that for you this year. So I think that's going to be another little thing in the spring that we like to do, especially through the summer. So we kind of, get out of the football season and do some different things. So keep in mind on that. And that's why I say you got to stay subscribed. Stay subscribed so you don't miss a single thing. I mean, like Tyson said, we're getting done with the football season. Like we'll have draft stuff. We'll have off-season stuff, all that, but it's basketball, college, NBA. It's going to be golf. And that's pretty much it until we get started ramping back up for the football season. So don't miss a single thing. Like if you're not just a football guy and you like all sports, stay connected with us. We got you covered. Like the show on the way out if you're watching on YouTube. 5 stars if you haven't already in podcast form, and share it with a friend, share it with an enemy, however you want to do it. We just appreciate the support. Last gambling episode coming to you Super Bowl week. We'll have a fun one where we kind of look back at everything of what happened this football season. So we got a ton of content coming out for you guys. Enjoy the games this week. Let us know who you're picking. Get in the Discord like Tyson said, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.